All right, the 2022 Audi A4, the 4D model, right, with the smaller four-cylinder engine or the slightly more detuned four-cylinder engine, right? Let's get started with this review. I've already done videos on the 2021 A5, so if you want to check that out, I will leave a link to that in the description box. That had a slightly more powerful four-cylinder engine to it, but this, I don't think this will dissatisfy anyone. Yeah, it's not going to dissatisfy at all because, you know why? When I first got into this vehicle, when I drove it, without looking at the window sticker, I actually thought that this was the same exact 45T motor found in the A5 Cabriolet that I tested. They both pull literally identical, both in the city and out on the highway. I really could not tell a difference. So right there, if you want to save some cash, don't opt for the 45T engine. We'll touch on that a little bit later, but just so you know, this is the all-new 2022 model year. Not a whole lot of changes going on here. Nothing crazy. It's still the kind of understated, cool, calm luxury that Audi is very good at doing here. That's what this is. It has like that sleek profile to it. We have the optional 18-inch wheels because this is like the base premium version with the convenience package and the 18-inch wheels added to it. You have the option of getting the Premium Plus and the Prestige. I would personally recommend you getting the Premium Plus. Don't tack on any other options other than that, and you're pretty much good to go there. But yeah, I wish these 18-inch wheels kind of looked a little bit better on this vehicle, but that's really one of my only complaints with it. But this thing looks like it means business in dark gray, though. This is a good color for the A4. It looks premium. It looks solid in this color. So you have that going on. But you let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on the looks and the appearances of this A4. It's really between this and the 3 Series because the C-Class, in my opinion, they have a little bit more of a chintzy interior, and the 4-cylinders that they use is not quite as smooth as the BMW 4-cylinder or this Audi 4-cylinder. Something to keep in mind there. Otherwise, the C300 Benz isn't terrible. I mean, it handles okay. Let's transition over into this driving segment now. Brakes, I've noticed you really have to get in on them to get the stopping power, but for the most part, not an issue. Yeah, I mean, man, you'd be so surprised. Like, there's no real world difference between the two 4-cylinders that they offer here. In fact, I don't even understand why they offer 2 different 4-cylinders. It makes no sense. BMW doesn't do that crap. They only offer 2 inline 6 models because that's for the performance-oriented version, and that makes sense. They have a luxury-tuned version, inline 6, and they have the more M Sport tuned variant. That's fine, but this, they don't need 2 kind of base model-ish engines. On paper, anyway, this does about 201 horsepower and 236 pounds-feet of torque. I think the 45T is around 260 horses and 270 pounds-feet of torque, something along those lines. Seems like a sizable jump on paper. I think 0 to 60 for the 45T is around 5.2 or 5.3 seconds. This is about 6.2 seconds, so it's literally a second slower to 60. Again, all on paper. Don't notice those changes in the real world. Handling is also very decent. I have no real qualms driving this car. There's nothing crazy to complain about here. It handles great, rides great as well, even with these 18-inch wheels. In fact, you can make this ride a little bit better with the base model by getting the 17-inch wheels on the premium model. So if you want to do that, you can. But as it sits here, this is great. It absorbs larger bumps, smaller bumps. It's so quiet, by the way, both in the city and out on the highway. Highway stability is also excellent. Doing higher speeds, past triple digits, not an issue in this car. Yeah, and anything under 80 miles an hour is very quiet in here as well, very respectable. We also have here, with these 18-inch wheels, we have here like a 245 wide Continental tires on here, all seasons, and excellent tire choice. Really complements what this vehicle is trying to do here. Really nothing to complain about here, other than perhaps the lack of soul, which is just about every new car nowadays, especially every new 4-cylinder turbocharged vehicle nowadays. I mean, yeah, they don't feel like a whole lot to drive, but there's, again, nothing really to complain about either. Steering input is so natural. Some people say it's vague or Audis have numb steering. I always loved the Audi steering, in my opinion. I always thought it was well calibrated, perfectly weighted. And you know, you can kind of play with the paddles here as well. We'll auto upshift, but it's okay. Downshifts and upshifts, it's not super crispy or anything like that, but it's adequate enough. You can use it to pass people or something like that if you want to downshift manually. Not a bad thing to have. You can also put it into the automatic sport mode, which just makes you hover around 2,000 RPM, just kind of loads you up in a lower gear. So I don't really recommend using the sport there, but just put it in the automatic mode. The regular drive in the comfort mode does a great job. Now I will say there's actually one small complaint. When you're at a standstill and when you floor it, there's going to be some delay, but that's about it. They have certainly improved it over the 2021 A5 that I tested out. Same thing with the A6 with the 4-cylinder that I tested, both 2021 model years. For 2022, they've made this auto stop start react a little bit quicker. It's not perfect. I still tend to turn it off, but they made that quicker, and the delay isn't quite as bad as it was in the A5. So those are certainly some noteworthy changes, but at the end of the day, this is a $45,000 vehicle. Not a terrible value proposition for the class that it's in. You can also get a BMW 330i xDrive for around $45,000 as well. So it's really between these two cars. You're not really going wrong with either of them. It really just depends on any incentives or which one leases out better for the particular month. That's about it. But these are my two top picks for this kind of European class. Again, for the reasons I mentioned before, really smooth 4-cylinder, quiet vehicles, handles great for the most part. I mean, yeah, it tends to plow a little bit because it's more of a front-wheel drive centric vehicle compared to like the BMWs. But for what you're going to be doing out here on the street, definitely not bad at all. It's got the compliance and it's got the confidence that you need. It's a confidence-inspiring vehicle, and that's really what matters at the end of the day. Plus, you know, it's an Audi big foreign whip, right? You know, you can post this on the gram. You know, if you want to, I'm going to post it on my gram. That's what I'm going to do. So there you are. I might even post it on TikTok, you know, let the whole world know. Why not? No, I'm just joking, but I'm not going to post it anywhere. No, it'll be on my gram. It'll be on the gram, but yeah, you pull up in this, you're an astronaut, right? Big foreign, big outer space, Pluto, right? Okay. All right, I think we've had enough of that. Let's go ahead, let's transition over into the interior segment now. All right, so now that we are stopped, let's go ahead and let's wrap up this interior real quick. So if you've seen my A5 videos, it's pretty much the exact same interior here as well. So it's got the same pros and cons to it. Obviously, it's got more pros because this is one of my more favorite interiors, even compared to the BMW 3 Series. I just like the way it's so logically laid out. It is so intuitive, ergonomic, no issues, and there's no learning curve with this. So if you're a little bit older or something, the infotainment is going to be easy to use. Also, the infotainment quality, like the screen quality, is great. We don't have like the full digital gauge cluster here, nor do I care or need that. This is perfectly fine, but if you do step up to the Premium Plus, as I suggested to you, then you would be able to get that, as well as a top view camera, which I'm assuming is just a 360 camera. So if you want to get those things with the convenience package kind of baked into it, then the Premium Plus is kind of the way to go. But the interior solidity is excellent, top notch, like it is with pretty much every Audi vehicle. That's actually one of the other things, you know, with Audi, you don't have to step up to like an A8 to get a quality interior space. You get that in the smaller vehicles or the vehicles that are kind of lower in the totem pole. You still get a solid, well-built cabin space. So at 45 grand, certainly gets you a nice place to spend time in. And some people might ask me, you know, what's really the difference between something like this and like a $27,000, you know, Honda Accord Sport or something like that, which is a vehicle I really love, mind you. It's like almost twice as big as this. I mean, the new Accord is just massive, and really all the new Hondas are massive, with the Civic as well. So really what you get with this is the great kind of build quality, also the great material choices that they use in the interior cabins, smoothness, quietness, you know, a little bit extra refinement, if you will, a little bit higher quality infotainment system. Just everything is incrementally smoother, quieter, better, and just kind of adds up to being a superior experience, but you're going to be forking over literally 20 grand more to get that privilege. And because it costs so much more, it's also going to depreciate harder. So that's why I kind of prefer to lease stuff like this and buy things like the Accords and the Camrys, because they cost less, though they depreciate less. And there's that reliability factor in there. You can actually keep that for longer than the warranty period that they offer on those cars, right? But anyway, back to this. Love how they continue to separate out the climate control. You have your own physical buttons for that and your knobs, and you also have heated seats here as well with the heated steering wheel. All great touches. One touch auto up and down windows for all 4 windows. No double pane glass, nor does it need it because it's so quiet. You have 2-way memory seats. I mean, it just has all the convenient options that you actually need in a vehicle. And you're also getting phenomenal fuel economy, okay? It's rated to get 26 in the city and 34 in the highway. Yeah, you are absolutely going to be getting that. Only thing that sucks though is you do have to put premium fuel in these kind of turbocharged engines. So that's kind of the con there, but get yourself a little Costco membership. You should be fine. Although one of my Patreon members did tell me that apparently Costco gas isn't good for your vehicle, but I don't know. I've been going there for, past 5-6 years now. It hasn't really caused an issue for us, but, research that for your own area. It is what it is. I guess one con with this is there's not a whole lot of cubby spaces in here or anything like that. You have your kind of 2 cup holders in the front, and you have a kind of a useless tray north of the shifter, which is, you can't even put a phone in there, so it's what's the point? You have 1 USB slot next to the start stop button, and kind of a dinky little center armrest. So yeah, that I'm not a huge fan of, the interior space, the way they kind of laid it out here. It's a modern era. I figured they would put a good place to put your phone, but I guess you kind of hide your phone underneath the center armrest so you're not distracted by it. So I guess that is a pro if you look at it that way. Volume knob, that's physical, it's right here. Glove box is genuinely of a good size, which helps with the storage space. And I'm 5'11", getting in and out of this, not too terrible. Seating position is literally perfect. Mirrors could be slightly larger, but you'll make do with this, not a big deal. And I'm in here and I have room to go even with the sunroof here, so that's not bad. And opening and closing the doors, interior is solid. Seats are extremely comfortable, so much lumbar support. And the overall seat quality in here is also excellent. These are also great certified pre-owned vehicles to pick up because the interiors, they age so well. Sound system in here, actually not too bad. You don't really need to option the Bang & Olufsen if you don't want to. That's a $950 option on the Premium Plus package. But you might not want to pick it up. I mean, it's $950. I mean, if you're leasing it, then sure, go ahead. But really, this sound system has plenty of bass, plenty of clarity. It's not a bad system to my ear. So you can actually get away with this bass audio system. Not terrible. Now, the rear seats, not a plethora of space, but again, I can fit behind myself. There's some room underneath the front seats to stow your toes, which helps out. Seat quality continues back there. Very comfortable. Headroom isn't terrible either, but most importantly, you can fold down those seats. So that makes it very practical. And the trunk in and of itself is already massive. So even without folding down the rear seats, you have a massive trunk back there. All great things going on here. In fact, you can even save some money and not get the A5 sedan if you don't want to, because with the A5 you can stow taller objects in the trunk, but you are going to be sacrificing a lot in terms of rear legroom space and rear headroom space, because this already offers great trunk space. So it's really up to you on what you need. I don't know, I do like the way the A5 Sportback looks. I think it's a more cleaner, cooler design. But if you want to save some cash, go ahead and get this. And also compared to the BMW 330, it's really up to you which one you can snag a better deal on, which one you like the looks of more. I mean, I just kind of like the way the 3 Series looks a little bit more than this, so I'm kind of swayed to that direction. But this is a great car. I mean, literally nothing to complain about. Quiet, comfortable, handles decently well, plenty quick, just a bit of lag off the line, but really not a big deal outside of that. Interior is fantastic, great features. Just a good car, lacks soul, lacks character, but that's every new car nowadays. So go ahead, enjoy it, but thanks so much for watching this video. And if you want to support this channel, I do have my Patreon link in the description box because, well, I pay for vehicles like this to review. It's through the DriveFlow subscription program. DriveFlow is a company that's located in North Carolina in the Greensboro, Winston-Salem area. And you can pay like $1,600 a month, which is what I pay to get access to vehicles like this. And you have a slew of like 70 or 80 cars to choose from that you can kind of swap in and out of. And I do believe that this is kind of the future of luxury car leasing moving forward. So again, if you want to support either DriveFlow or me, I will leave all that information down below so you can check that out. Thanks again, take care, and goodbye.